There is a sentence that sounds true until life proves it wrong. If you're smart, you'll become rich. Most of us grew up believing that. Study hard, get good grades, think before you act, make fewer mistakes, and one day, money will come. But then life introduces you to someone like Victor, the kind of person who makes you question everything you thought you knew. Victor wasn't the smartest person in the room. He wasn't the most educated. He didn't even give good advice. In fact, if you had met him 10 years ago, you would probably have said, "This guy is going nowhere." Today, Victor owns businesses. He travels when he wants. He buys things he desires. Meanwhile, people who once laughed at him are still waiting for payday. So what happened? Was Victor secretly a genius? Did he get lucky? Or is there something about money that nobody teaches us? Because if you've ever looked at someone and thought, how did he become rich? Then this video is for you. Not because you're going to learn how to become foolish, but because you might discover that you've been playing the money game by rules that don't even exist. When Victor was 23, he worked in a furniture warehouse. The pay wasn't great. The work was hard. Every Friday, the workers gathered outside after closing. Some complained about the company. Some complained about the government. Some complained about rich people. Victor complained too. But there was something different about him. Whenever someone said, someone should start a business like this, Victor didn't continue the conversation. He asked one question: why can't that someone be me? People laughed, not because the idea was impossible, but because it came from Victor. They thought he wasn't smart enough. One man even told him, running a business is for educated people. Victor laughed with them. Then he went home and started anyway. Here's the strange thing about life. People don't always call you foolish because your idea is bad. Sometimes they call you foolish because your idea makes them uncomfortable. Think about your own life. Have you ever wanted to do something, start a business, learn a new skill, change careers, but kept quiet because you were afraid of looking stupid? Most people don't fear failure, they fear embarrassment. And that fear quietly steals years from their lives. Victor's first business failed in 7 months. He lost almost all his savings. His friends smiled, not because they hated him, because now they felt safe again. His failure proved they were right. Victor got another job. Everyone thought that was the end. It wasn't. A few months later, he started another business. This one failed too. Now people stopped calling him brave. They called him foolish. His family begged him to stop. You've tried twice. Maybe business isn't for you. You should be realistic. Those words sound loving. But sometimes, be realistic is another way of saying, stay where everyone else is comfortable. Victor listened. He nodded. Then he ignored them. Because he realized something most people never do. Every failure gave him something he didn't have before. Experience. You can't borrow experience. You can't download it. You have to earn it. And earning it usually looks like failure. Let me ask you something. How many business ideas have died? Not because they were bad, but because someone was too worried about what people would think. How many opportunities have you ignored because you wanted certainty first? Here's the truth. The people who wait until they're 100% ready usually never start. And the people who start before they're ready become ready because they started. There's a huge difference. By the way, if this video is already making you see money differently, subscribe now. Because every week we break down the money lessons that schools, workplaces, and even successful people often leave out. If you're serious about changing the way you think about money, you're in the right place. Now, let's go. 2 years later, Victor noticed something strange. People were buying expensive coffee every morning, not because they loved coffee, because buying it made them feel successful. That single observation changed his life. Most people see customers. Victor saw behavior. He opened a small coffee stand. Nothing fancy. People laughed again. A coffee stand. That's your big idea? But Victor wasn't selling coffee. He was selling a feeling. And feelings usually make more money than products. Think about expensive clothes, luxury watches, latest phones. People don't only buy the item, they buy what the item says about them. Money follows people who understand human behavior, not just numbers. That's why some people with average intelligence become wealthy. They understand people, and people spend money with emotions first, logic second. This is where many intelligent people get trapped. They spend years trying to understand markets, charts, business books, economic reports, all useful things. But they forget one simple question. Why do people actually spend money? If you can answer that question, you'll understand business better than most experts. Years passed. Victor wasn't making perfect decisions. He still made mistakes, sometimes expensive ones. But he had developed one habit. He never let one bad decision become 10 years of regret. Think about that. Most people don't lose because they fail. They lose because failure convinces them to stop. Victor refused to stop. That's why people eventually called him successful, not lucky, not foolish. Successful. Funny how the same people changed the word. When he failed, he was foolish. When he won, he became a smart businessman. Nothing about Victor changed, only the result changed. People judged decisions by the ending, not by the courage it took to make them. So, why do foolish people also get rich? Sometimes they don't. Thousands of reckless people lose everything every year. You never hear about them. But the people who appear foolish often have something most people don't. They move before they feel ready. They accept embarrassment. They learn from failure instead of running from it. They understand people more than they understand textbooks. And most importantly, they keep going long after everyone else has gone back to playing it safe. Maybe that's why they end up rich. Not because they know more, but because they allow themselves to do what smarter people keep postponing. Before you leave, I want you to answer one question. Be honest. What's one decision you've been delaying for months? Or maybe years? Not because you can't do it, but because you're afraid of looking foolish if it doesn't work. Write it in the comments. No pretending, no perfect answers, just the truth. Because someone reading your comment might realize they're not the only one who's been waiting. And that one moment of honesty could be the thing that finally gets both of you moving.